Baseball reminding you about the Tuesday night fights on USA.
It's time for the main event. Budweiser, the King of Beers, presents USA's Tuesday night fights for the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. The freshly young champion, Arturo Gatti, takes on the challenger, former world champ, Jose Sanabria. Arturo Gatti, a junior lightweight, burst on the scene with heavy hands. He put down USBA champion Pete Taliaferro 3 times in the first round to win the title, and in doing so recorded his 11th first-round knockout.
My game plan for every fight is to hurt my opponent in the first round to give me respect. And if I do hit him right, it might end the first round. But I really don't look for the knockout in the first round. I want to gain my respect first.
In his first defense, Gatti didn't get the early knockout against veteran Richard Salazar. But in going 10 rounds, taking Salazar out in the 10th, Gatti took another step.
Confident-wise, I was very confident at the beginning, but right now it's like I didn't feel ready for a world title that time, and now more I fight, more I train, more every time I go into the gym, I feel that I'm world-class opposition right now.
And tonight it's another step up against former world champion Jose Sanabria. Sanabria won the junior featherweight title in '88. He made 3 defenses. Now a little older and a little bigger, he's out to prove he's too much for a rising young star.
I'm going to fight this fight from the beginning to the end real hard. I'm going to try to take him the distance and see if he's really got what it takes. The experiences would come in later, and the durability would be at the end of this fight.
Sean, is it too early in the career of a Gatti to fight a guy like Sanabria, or too late in the career of Sanabria to fight a guy like Gatti? That's a mind-boggler for you.
Al, I think it's a little bit of both. Arturo Gatti is one of the best young rising prospects in boxing, but that's really his problem. He's young and inexperienced. Tonight, he's trying to pick up some experience. Jose Sanabria has been in there with many of the top junior lightweights, but Arturo Gatti wants to add Sanabria's name to his list. Sanabria wants tonight to take Arturo Gatti to school.
And Gatti is actually the only one in action wearing that jersey right now, the jersey of the New Jersey Devils. Let's check out the sizes and the weights. Here's the Castrol tail of the tape for this junior lightweight championship fight, both weighing in at 130. Sanabria, when he was a world champion, was at 122 pounds as a junior featherweight, but he has fought several fights at 130, even 131. But both the same height, and Gatti with a slight reach advantage. This is a USBA championship fight, so here are the USBA rules. Standing 8 count is in effect. No 3 knockdown rule. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round. And the scoring is on the 10-point must-scoring system. It is a scheduled 12-rounder. Now the champ sizes up these 2 fighters on the blackboard.
Brought to you by Old Spice, tonight's boxing blackboard. USBA Junior Lightweight Champion Arturo Gatti. Strengths, a youthful fighter still learning. He's an accurate puncher. He's dangerous early with 11 first-round KOs. Arturo's weaknesses, he is untested. He's brought along very careful against B-level competition, and because of that, he's inexperienced. Jose Sanabria will try to expose that. His strengths are his experience against top junior lightweights. He has a solid chin, he's tough, only stopped once. His losses have been well earned. His weaknesses, as he creeps up in age, Jose's lost speed, but his biggest weakness, he lacks power. In boxing, a road warrior needs power.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 12 rounds for the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. Your referee from Ventnor, New Jersey is Steve Smoger. The other officials assigned by USBA Supervisor Robert W. Lee Jr. Your judges, Barbara Perez, Melvina Latham, and Tom Kazmarek. Introducing the principals. First in the red corner, he is wearing blue trunks with white lettering. He weighs in at 130 pounds even. His professional record, 20 wins, 10 losses, 3 draws, 11 knockouts. From San Felipe, Venezuela, here he is, the former IBF Junior Featherweight Champion of the world, Jose Sanabria. And his opponent in the blue corner, the champion, he is wearing white trunks trimmed in blue. He also weighs in at 130 pounds. His professional record, 18 wins, only 1 loss, 16 knockouts. From Jersey City, New Jersey, here he is, the USBA Junior Lightweight Champion, Arturo Thunder Gatti. Steve Smoker, your referee for 12 rounds.
I gave you instructions at the weigh-in. I want you to obey my commands at all times, respect the bell at all times, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Okay, let's go.
5 months ago, he was unranked. He was an underdog going in against the veteran Peter Talifaro. And 2 fights later, Arturo Gatti feels the feel of a champion. He looks across at a former world champion, Jose Sanabria from Venezuela. Gatti, a veteran of 53 rounds as a pro. Sanabria has fought 246 rounds as a professional in a career that goes back 10 years.
Veteran fighter. Keep your eye on Arturo Gatti. He says, I like to start fast.
Well,
I sometimes catch my opponent sleeping.
Well, he has the numbers to support that one in the fight against Talifaro, who was the favorite going into that one. Talifaro goes down 3 times in the first round and is stopped by Gatti, and that delivered the USBA title to Arturo Gatti, just 22 years of age, originally from Montreal. His brother Joe, a junior middleweight contender, 4 years older than Arturo, who is now ranked number 4 by the IBF.
There it is. Arturo has 11 first-round KOs.
And he is going for it against Sanabria, pouring it on. Sanabria looks to be in trouble here in the first round, overwhelmed by the flurry of punches by Thunder Arturo Gatti.
And that is where Thunder gets his nickname, because he says his punches make noise. And he gets that nickname in the first round. He likes to start early. But you know what? In his last fight, I think a very defining fight for Gatti, because he was able to catch Salazar late in a fight. So many of these fighters that you see that come on the scene, they have a lot of early round knockouts, but what happens when they go past those first 3 rounds? Can they still knock people out? Gatti proved it last time out.
Well, and he felt stronger each and every round. At the end, had put Salazar down and broke his jaw. But Sanabria, the cagey veteran, he has seen it all, and looking to weather this thunderous storm in the first round. Gatti, the fast starter. Sanabria is in there for the long haul. And right now, seeing the best of Gatti in the first few minutes of the fight.
Yeah, and no hurry for Sanabria.
Sanabria has been stopped only once in his 33 fights, and that by Luis Espinoza. That was 3 years ago when he was down and stopped in the 6th round. Only time that Sanabria has been stopped, only time he has ever been down. He comes in with a solid chin and ring smarts to try to avoid the power of Gatti. Inside 30 seconds in the first. Before Gatti's 10-round victory over Salazar, he had knocked out 6 of his previous 7 opponents in the first. And he is going for it here, even though he says, listen, I'm going to throw it out there in the first round. I'm going to come out really strong. If I happen to catch a guy and he falls, so be it. It's happened. It's happened 11 times. Arturo Gatti has roared into the top 5 The IBF junior lightweights behind the champion, a guy he spars with, John Molina, and he is right behind Eddie Hobson. Wouldn't that be a great matchup? Hobson, the Energizer Bunny, against Gatti. Meanwhile, Gatti now ahead of such notables in the IBF rankings as Calvin Grove, who's number 6, Jesse James Leija, who's number 7, and the great Azuma Nelson, who is still in the top 10 at number 8. So Arturo Gatti has made a mercurial rise in the junior lightweight class and trying to build on that here tonight.
Thunder, that's why. 16 KOs out of 18 wins.
He goes up against a world-class fighter in Sanabria, although Sanabria is 31. A question of whether he has certainly turned that corner. But Gatti says, you know, I've sparred with fighters that I think are better than Sanabria. Guys like John Molina, guys like Jesse James Leija, Jake the Snake Rodriguez, all champions or former champions. And you can even see that Gatti looks the bigger fighter than Jose Sanabria, who won the junior featherweight championship back in 1988, made 4 defenses before losing to Fabrice Benechow, who he had beaten earlier in a defense. And since that time, over the course of the last 4 years, Sanabria has won 4, lost 7 with a draw. And the question is, the slide due to age, or that he is fighting perhaps over his best weight?
A little bit of both. Also, a lot of these fights that he has lost have been out of his country. He is from Venezuela. And a man that fights out of Venezuela, mostly in the United States, is going to fight away from home. He says a lot of those decisions he should not have lost. 10 losses out of his 30 fights, 33 fights, 20 wins, 10 losses, 3 draws.
He's had 2 fights over the course of the last year, losing both of those in decisions, but losing to former WBA champion Luis Mendoza, and also losing a close decision to former IBF champ Juan Polo Perez.
Right, top junior lightweights. Some of the best in the world that he's been in the ring with. He loses, but he makes good fights, and he's in there in the fights. And he usually goes the distance.
Well, hence also this great yardstick to tell Arturo Gatti exactly where he is.
Absolutely, but Gatti is not fighting Sanabria because Gatti thinks he'll lose. Gatti has a lot of confidence going into this fight.
Okay? We have to work on that body. Understand? Get closer with the jab to him, okay? You have to get closer with your hand high and work with that body with the 2 shots right away, okay? We have to work in that body, okay? Doing good. Get closer with the jab, stepping with the jab, and work with that body. Don't give it too much distance.
Pero vamos a llevarlo ahí con factor de defensa.
Respira profundo por arriba, te
Llavea contra el llave.
Al Albert along with the champ. Welcome to USA's Tuesday night fights tonight on the East Coast at the Meadowlands Convention Center. And we are now watching the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. The champ is in the white, the challenger is in the blue. Arturo Gatti, 18-1. He had won his first 6 pro fights, then went into Philadelphia in the backyard of veteran King Solomon. Gatti coming off the longest layoff in his young career of 6 months, and he lost a close decision, but since that time he's reeled off 12 wins, 11 by knockout, has ascended to the USBA junior lightweight throne, and looks to ascend even further to a possible world title shot. He has to get back by a former world champion now in Jose Sanabria, 31-year-old Venezuelan, comes in with a record of 20-10-3 with 11 knockouts.
You talked about the King Solomon fight for Arturo Gatti. That fight in Philadelphia, extremely close. He said in that match, I did not fight my kind of fight. I was hesitating too much. After this fight, he says he's changed trainers. In this fight, he hesitated in that second round. Between rounds, they wanted him to get back to that left jab and start dictating the pace.
Gatti coming up with those solid shots, though he misses. He likes a guy to fight back, to come to him.
Yeah, he likes the advancing style. He likes facing that kind of style. When you are chasing down a man, it is more difficult to knock him out. First of all, you got to chase him down, then you have to set him up, corner him, set him up to knock him out. When he's running at you, many times he sets himself up to be knocked out.
That shot to the top of the head of Sanabria, and Gatti seeing a window of opportunity. You see Sanabria holding with the right arm the other side of referee Steve Smoger, but Smoger with a warning. Hard to pull something over on double S, and now Gatti digging to the body, senses it here in the third round that he may have Sanabria hurt.
One of the things that you look for if you are a knockout artist, you look right in your opponent's face, look right into his eyes, and that'll tell you if it is time to turn up the tempo. If they can't stand the heat, they'll get out of the kitchen. You look into those eyes, and if your opponent is looking around or looking down, or not concentrated, not focused, there's going to be a warning from Steve Smoger. He doesn't like for fighters to throw low blows. The punch from Gatti downstairs too low.
Nor did Sanabria in this case.
You understand? You're giving too much distance. You understand what I said? Get closer there and mix your punch. Don't try to knock the guy with one punch. You have to mix it, or we don't got no legs no more. But you stay too far at the guy.
Work the body, but keep him up, baby, okay?
Hey? You hear what I say? You have to get it closer, man.
It's Tuesday night and it's fight night on USA, and we have a USBA championship fight. The champ in the white, Arturo Gatti, comes in at 18-1, and the challenger in the blue, Jose Sanabria, former world champion, who hopes to use the young Gatti to catapult himself back into a championship picture.
And Sanabria is catching Gatti with the overhand right. See where Gatti's left hand is? He tries to sneak it out there to make it a little bit faster. See him push it out in front, and he uses it also to feint with that left jab, but he occasionally leaves himself open because of that. So there's a look at some of the swelling underneath that left eye from Gatti.
Gatti from Montreal. And yes, he was a former hockey player as a youngster. Played for about 7 years, started at the age of 10. Was a forward, had a few hat tricks in his day, and never got into a fight on the ice. Saved that for the win. And now Gatti moving in again. Sanabria punching back. And I think he may lose in an exchange like this if he keeps it up. Sanabria not known for his power, but standing right there in with Gatti trying to slug it out.
Gatti's hockey career is probably why he's so tough as a boxer.
I'll see if we could take Sanabria into the corners
and put him on ice.
But now he's living in Jersey City. He's been here for about 3.5 years, and hence wearing the New Jersey Devils jersey coming in as opposed to the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, good mix-up in the last minute from both of these two, and I think they both gained a little bit more respect for one another. No matter what you criticize, for a fighter like Gatti, who had so many first-round knockouts, a lot of criticism for him because everybody said he had no stamina. But I think he did a good job his last fight with Salazar, knocking him out in the 10th, and answering those critics. Good punches from both men. Look how accurate this left hook is from Arturo Gatti. He says that is his best punch.
Well, the big test for Gatti was the last fight against Salazar because he went into the 10th round. And now he knows he can go 10, knows what kind of a pace. He felt strong each round.
Yeah. You never know until you actually do it in a fight. These fighters do it in the gym every day, but the fight is different. Not very many wasted shots, accurate punching. Both fighters tasting each other's power, but there is a pretty left hook from Arturo Gatti. Sanabria threw a nice little left hook of his own. Sanabria says his best punch is the right hand, the right cross.
And Sean, as you've talked about many times when you see the fighter, the statue of Sanabria, that this is where the fight begins for him.
Right.
Part of his strategy is, as we saw in the first round, is get through that first round with an on-charging Gatti who was intent on stopping it right there in the first, and he has done so. And now he's taken it into round number 5.
Yeah, so many of these young fighters really beat themselves. The way they do that is they come out with a lot to prove and a lot on their mind, and they come out and they try to force the knockout. They try to force the fight. Well, after about 3 rounds of this, the arms come down, the mouth comes open, and the young aspiring fighter loses his will to win.
This is a 20th pro fight for Gatti, and he's been this far into a 5th round on only 5 occasions. Crowd now chanting for Arturo Gatti. Terrific first fight. Ivan Robinson barely pulling out a split decision over Juan Negron. Fight that had this house going. And the house got into this fight in the first round, but now we're kind of coming down a little bit as the pace slowing down.
Yeah, and it may be because, remember in the 3rd round where I said they both tasted one another's power? It may be here that they have picked up, they've gained new respect for one another. Now they're not.
The worst thing to happen in a boxing match. Gaining respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Why? But now they're not as interested as going in and throwing the punches. When you throw a punch, you commit yourself. You can reach your opponent with your fist, but you know what? He can also reach you. Good combination from Arturo Gatti. Nice 1, 2, 3. That's basic boxing. The jab, the right hand, and the left hook. Good double left hook from Gatti. Combination punches. How effective a left jab would be here for both fighters.
Well, it's the right hand of Sanabria who is kind of finding a home. You see the left cheekbone of Gatti getting swollen, might be close to being cut.
Okay? You have to take it off from the fight with quick combination. You understand what I said? When you make it miss, make it pay. You understand what I said? Okay? Take it off from the fight, quick combination. Bam, 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 bam. If he stay there, lick it off. But quick combination. Bam, 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 bam. You know to fight. So don't try to knock the guy. Don't pull your hand all the way back like that. Okay? Fighting good. Work with your jab, quick combination. Try to get your distance where you can punch. You understand? Huh? And work about your punch with combination.
More.
Okay?
More.
How you feeling? You okay? Okay, with combination. Bam, 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 okay? Fast. Bam, bam, bam. It's a old man. Bam, bam, bam. With combination.
Arturo Gatti in the white trunks, making his second defense of the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. A championship that has vaulted Gatti into the world rankings at number 4 by the IBF, right behind Eddie Hobson. Gatti trying to unload to start this 5th round. And Sanabria coming back. Gatti checking the canvas for some reason. Sanabria could take advantage. Oh, and now the exchange. Gatti back and forth he goes, but Sanabria stays right in front of him and continues to throw his punches. It intensifies here at the beginning of round 6. And right now it is the champ in the corner of Arturo Gatti. I believe champ is with Hector Roca. Champ?
Hector, that was a fast barrage. Did you want this to pick up that fast this late?
You know, Sanabria is a very experienced fighter. We need to get experience. You know, the guy has good experience, and Arturo got to get the time to get to the fight.
I see you're changing his style, though. You want him moving more. Why?
Because Sanabria is a very experienced fighter. Like you said, not right now. Arturo stay inside. The guy gets it better to him. Is that what I said?
Was this Sanabria's tactics to take this to the later rounds?
Yeah, we want to get in the later round, but Arturo has to make it work.
How about the next couple of rounds? You think Gatti has tasted his power and has more respect for him?
No, Gatti really don't got no respect to him. I got the respect to the guy, so I want Arturo being a little more smart.
Yeah, you're going to give more respect to Sanabria?
Yeah, but Arturo don't got no respect to him. Arturo fight with him.
Right. Are you going to change him at all now?
No, from the way out to fight. We want to fight with him.
Okay, good luck over here, Hector. Back over to Al.
Arturo Gatti suffered his only defeat at the hands of King Solomon in Philadelphia. Hector Roca joined the corner of Gatti, and since that time he's won 12 in a row, 11 by knockout, but Gatti looks to be a little winded here. Sanabria just stays in front, does his thing, and hangs in there, taking everything that Gatti has to offer. 20 seconds to go in the 6th.
Yeah, I think, Al, you should keep me over there in that corner. Did you see how these two picked it up when I went over there to that corner?
And we'll try that. Actually, we'll try to the start of the 7th.
Actually, you know, you see a change of style from Gatti now. Now he's trying to move more, but Sanabria walking right straight through him. Does he respect Gatti? Oh yeah, you can't run in this ring. You cannot hide. Look, Arturo Gatti goes back to the ropes. He feels that rope on his back, and you know what? The only thing left to do is plant your feet and fight. Arturo Gatti is a fighter.
Slugfest proportion in the 6th round, and now we have number 7 ahead in a scheduled 10-round fight. But late in that 6th round, it appeared as if Gatti was maybe wearing some of those shots.
Perhaps wilting a bit. You know, and this is exactly what they wanted from Jose's corner.
Jose coming on with a nice 1-2 combination. And now you see that left cheekbone of Arturo Gatti.
Little by little. You know, when you have an experienced veteran like Jose Sanabria in there, he realizes he has 10 rounds to work with, or in this case, 12 rounds. He doesn't go out and spend everything in the first few rounds. He's got plenty of time to build up the swelling underneath the eye, or to build up a fight plan, or build up a lead.
I'm glad you corrected me. I was getting used to these 10-round fights. This indeed is a 12-rounder for the USBA title.
And the title that Arturo Gatti owns. And a very important title, because it is a stepping stone to a world championship, and you can rest assured that world champions are watching in tonight.
Well, by winning the title, he has vaulted into the top 5. A spot that he covets and wants to go on the way up as opposed on the way down.
I I won the USBA title, the lightweight championship, and I got more respect out of that than any of my other fights. And it was just a few fights later that I fought for a world title. World champions in this junior lightweight division: Enero Hernandez, Gabriel Ruelas, John Molina, Rogelio Tour. The NABF champion is Eddie Hobson. Oh, big right hand. And that's the kind of punch that you can catch a veteran with, not a usual standard punch straight down the pike. You got to mix it up.
The right hand of Sanabria doing damage.
Doing damage, and look at the hands of Gatti down by his waist, especially that left hand.
You know, the word was that Sanabria has lost some speed with advancing age, but that quickness with the right hand and sneaking in there and scoring.
Yeah, you ask Arturo Gatti if he's lost any speed. You know, Hector Roca does not like this. He says that Arturo Gatti is too much of a macho type person. He'll stand in there and take 2 punches to give one of his own.
Gatti picks it up at the end of this round. Yeah, there are the Gatti supporters trying to lift him up. And this one is getting better and better. Arturo Gatti in his toughest fight so far in his young career. Finding out what world champion means, former world champion, in front of the name of Jose Sanabria. And saying it is not time to give it up yet at the age of 31. He knows the platform he is on tonight in front of a national TV audience, and his opportunity to try to get back into the fray after his career since losing the junior featherweight championship back in '89 has taken a slide as he's moved up in weight.
They're coming off 2 losses. The only win he's had in the last 4 fights was in October of '93 against Manuel Sanchez out of Venezuela.
And his last 2 losses against the former world champions, Luis Mendoza and Juan Polo Perez. Minute gone by in the 8th. It's scheduled for 12. The head of Sanabria strikes the chin of Gatti.
And you know, these fighters like Sanabria, and I can see it, he's strong. Rocked is Gatti.
Toe-to-toe they go. Neither fighter giving up an inch. Sanabria against a vicious puncher, but he stays in front and returns the shots.
He lands with that overhand right on that eye. Swelling underneath that left eye of Gatti. Again, good combination. That right on the eye.
Well, the initial question, is it too early in Gatti's career to be facing a guy like Sanabria? Oh, Gatti flailing away.
Once again, he felt his back on the ropes. He said, I've nowhere to run, I've got to fight.
But Sanabria just stands in front of him. And now it's Sanabria advancing, and Gatti with the back pedal.
Oh yeah, remember that 4th round and that 3rd round, how there was not very much going on? That was playing right into the hands of Jose Sanabria.
Sanabria sneaks in the left hand, a big 8th round for Jose Sanabria. And he has 4 rounds to go. Sanabria has gone 12 rounds on 4 occasions. He's even had a 15-round championship fight.
Here's a look at some of that action. These are hard punches to your face that help you to lose your direction. Your head's knocked one way, and then it gets knocked the other way. You're not sure where your corner is. It gets knocked the other way. All of a sudden, you can't see your opponent. It gets knocked the other way, and then crack. Your opponent lowers the boom.
The tempo of this fight has changed. Jose Sanabria in the blue, now taking charge. He has Gatti backpedaling, a little tentative, as you can see, a little tight, and there he goes upstairs again with another display of hand speed.
Yeah, and there is that left hand dragging down of Gatti. When you are hurt, your hands are going to go back where they're used to being held. If that is up by your face and you're hurt, they'll go back there. If they're down by your waist like Gatti's is now, that's where they end up.
Gatti can't even find the strength to pick up his hands to protect his face.
Yeah, and look at the strength now of Sanabria. See how he's just walking through the punches of Gatti? He's just walking through anything that Gatti even throws at him. Arm punches.
Ninth round action. Gatti has been beyond the eighth only once, and that was his last fight when he said he felt stronger every round and actually stopped his opponent in the 10th. But now it is Gatti running out of gas and Sanabria coming on strong. Gatti has actually 3.5 rounds to go.
Yeah, Sanabria's been coming on strong since the 6th round. Actually, in that round, he pulled on the pressure, but these are the effects of the last 3 rounds.
Gatti trying to punch himself back, but he is rocked by the straight shot by Sanabria.
Yeah, Gatti's back hit the ropes. He knew he had to fight.
Gatti's fans are all standing behind his corner, trying to give as much support as they can because they know that their young hero is in trouble. Reaching back is Gatti, looking for the big punch, a miracle to pull him out of some trouble here. And standing tall is Sanabria. He keeps on boring in, full control.
Yeah, Sanabria came in tonight knowing what he wanted to do in this fight. Up until this 9th round, he has done exactly what he has planned on doing. He allowed Arturo Gatti to come out in the first several rounds, score. He slowed the tempo down to his pace, to his level, just to get this into the later round. Big right hand.
Another cracking right by Sanabria. 15 seconds to go. Steve Smoger, the referee, taking a long look at the face of Gatti. Another right back by Sanabria. And Sanabria walks back to his corner with his hands raised. He thinks he has this one now. Gatti taking some vicious shots and still standing tall.
Arturo, I want to take a look at him. Arturo, how do you feel? Huh? You want to go on? Huh? Speak up. You want to go? Yeah. Okay.
What are we doing over here, Arturo?
Very good. Good. Arturo, baby. Come on, use your job more, Arturo. Let's try to work in the body. Cover yourself. Don't go wide, baby. Come on, baby. How you feeling? Come on. Take that water. I can't leave that title, man. Okay? Come on, baby.
There's a look at that swelling underneath the left eye, and there's why. Big overhand right just on that swelling. And one more time on that swelling. You use that swelling as a target. It is bigger, it's sticking out there. You can aim for that while you're throwing punches. I know these punches don't look very hard, but these are punches after 9 rounds of battling back and forth. And I have never, ever been hit with an easy punch. They all hurt.
Well, Gatti has to be thinking, as the knockout artist in this fight, to pull this thing out, he has to come up with a big punch, but does he have the strength to find that big punch?
Yeah, if he could get a rest for a round or maybe a round and a half, that would help him to get rejuvenated. The problem is, Jose Sanabria knows it, and Jose is on top of him. Jose doesn't want to give him any rest. He wants to not only keep hitting him, he wants to make Arturo Gatti work.
Sanabria is now turned shark-like, closing in.
Yeah, you can see the focus written all over his face.
backpedaling, keeping his distance.
Yeah, but Sanabria giving him the distance too.
Oh, Sanabria left hook. Tries to change Gatti's notions of coming in close, and now Gatti backpedaling gets in a left. Gatti looking to survive, looking to stay in the top 5, looking to remain as the USBA junior lightweight champion. But it's Jose Sanabria who is stealing the show tonight. And part of that question at the beginning is Sanabria too old to be taking on a Gatti tonight? His answer, resounding no.
Or is Gatti too young to be taking on a Jose Sanabria?
That answer may be a resounding yes. That was the question we proposed at the beginning of this fight. Gatti started strong, big first. It looked like he could have Sanabria out of there in the first round, which would have been his 12th first-round knockout. But Sanabria knew what he was doing. He weathered the storm of Thunder Gatti and has taken control of this fight. Turned it.
They turn this back over around the 6th round, which, if you're a fighter, you know you got 12 rounds to play with. If you win the first 5 rounds, that doesn't win the fight.
Now Gatti has to also contend to go into uncharted waters past the 10th.
Arturo, quick combination only. Don't go for the knockout. You understand what I say? Quick combination. Bam, bam, bam. Make him miss. Make him pay. Look good. Arturo, look good. Quick combination. How you feeling, baby?
Talked about Arturo Gatti to get back into this game. He had to take a round or so off, and Sanabria at the end kind of raised his hands with Gatti keeping a distance, saying, come on, fight. But that part of the plan of Gatti, he's got to collect himself.
Not at all, especially not right here. What you want to do in boxing is you want to fight a boxer and box a fighter. Earlier we saw Arturo Gatti fighting a boxer. Now we see him boxing a fighter. Good combination from Sanabria.
Well, you know, let me ask you, in his corner, Hector Roca is telling Arturo Gatti, don't go for the knockout. And you think at this point that's what he might need to win this fight. But he said to make Sanabria miss and make him pay. But Sanabria is getting in close range. He's getting a great percentage on his shots. It'll be hard to make him miss and to make him pay.
And Arturo Gatti is scoring, he's moving, but he's also trying to breathe in there. Trying to get his breath back, shake his arms out. Right now he's very tight. Good right hand.
And there's the worried look on the face of Arturo's brother Joe, and he comes alive now.
Yeah, he comes alive because Sanabria just lost his mouthpiece. Big left hook from Arturo Gatti. Sanabria's mouthpiece comes flying out. I just hope his teeth weren't in it.
Arturo Gatti needs the George Foreman shot here in the last couple of rounds. Ooh, well, Sanabria standing in front of him, giving him an opportunity.
Yeah, now here's that second wind kicking in.
by Sanabria that have been bothering Gatti all night.
Sanabria now having trouble with the speed of Arturo. Arturo has his second win, moving, bouncing. He took a round off, a round and a half.
And they want to save something for the final round, which could be a slugfest. Arturo Gatti, of course, the junior middleweight fighter. Coming down to 30 seconds in the 11th, and Gatti showing some spark here in 11, but it's Sanabria glued to Gatti.
Glued in this pressure, relentless pressure right in front. Arturo Gatti doesn't have a minute to breathe.
But Gatti actually caught that punch low. That's where his hands are, that far low. Well, 11 rounds down, 3 minutes to go.
Touch him up, final bell. Final round, one more bell to go. Landing at will tonight with her overhand right is Sanabria. Oh, good left hook, and that'll control her right hand. But you gotta throw it fast and you gotta throw it inside.
And Gatti has Sanabria cornered. For the moment.
Sanabria says, come on. They want Gatti to score and then move.
Sanabria looks pretty fresh for the 12th round.
He was hoping this was 15.
Fifth round. He fought a 15-rounder as the crowd now getting behind and chanting Gatti.
Look who's holding on. Sanabria, good score from Gatti. Sanabria clinched.
Sanabria's first attempt at the world title, he went to Korea to fight the champion, Sung-Hoon Lee, and lost the 15-round split decision. His next fight, he would win the championship and defend 4 times as a junior feather. Tonight, he's at 130 pounds, fighting as a junior lightweight, trying to take the USBA crown away from Arturo Gatti, who surprised everyone when he beat champion Pete Taliaferro back in June, knocking out the champ in the first round, knocking him down 3 times.
Ooh, big right hand. But Arturo Gatti in this round has done a wonderful job following instructions. Roca said, I want you to score and then get out on your bicycle. He's done a fantastic job of scoring and then moving. Oh, mouthpiece again flying out. Another left hook. Sanabria fighting right now with no mouthpiece.
Sanabria says, come on, come and get me. If Gatti has to knock Sanabria out to win this fight, he has to knock out a guy who has been down once in a world championship career. That by Louis Espinosa 3 years ago. And Sanabria is not shaken up by Gatti, continues to advance. Gatti continues to have to fight going backwards.
I do not believe that Steve Smoker, just now he saw the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece rule here is, and there's a lull in the action. Stop the fight for a moment, rinse the mouthpiece off, put it back in.
Well, now's not the time to do it, and Smoker knows it.
Final seconds in the final round, not at all. And Sanabria wants to fight. He wants Arturo Gatti to sit still.
Final seconds, and Gatti without a final assault. 12 rounds down. Are they raising the new USBA junior lightweight champion?
Or the current USBA champion.
Or the still? Well, we will find out. Arturo Gatti taking 12 rounds, and the belt may have been taken away from him. We are ready for the decision. Arturo Gatti taken to school. Jose Sanabria thinks he has pulled it off and has become the new USBA champion. But Gatti in the end hanging in there through 12 rounds. And he works the crowd. He thinks that he did enough to hang on to the title. Let us find out. Into the ring to Jimmy Murata.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I read the decision, let's have a hand for both fighters. A great fight, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Tom Kazmarek scores it 116-112. And judges Barbara Perez and Melvina Latham score it 118-110 for the winner. And still, USBA Junior Lightweight Champion, Arturo Gatti.
And you could tell by the reaction of the Gatti crowd, they even seemed to be surprised. Not only the fact that he won by such a wide margin. Two judges had it 118 to 110. And a very gracious and courteous Jose Sanabria comes over to give Gatti a hug, and now is led from the ring. Champ, how'd you see it?
Well, Jose Sanabria knows the score. He's had many of these fights that were close that he would get the call on. I thought Arturo Gatti won the fight, though. I thought it was scored much wider than I had on my scorecard. I had it closer than these judges had it here. 116-112, the other judge.
A hug from brother Joe, and a look on his face in the 10th round. If he only knew that this was on the way to a 118-110, I don't think you'd have seen the look on that face. So Arturo Gatti retains the championship, but learned some big lessons along the way. And now it's time for our Power Punch, brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud. It happened in an earlier fight on the undercard. Ruben Bell undefeated at 10-0 with 8 knockouts against Ron Hammonds, 11-1-1. Hammonds pouring it on, but now Ruben Bell in the 5th round. It was the left hand that put Hammonds down. Hammonds survived to go the distance, but lost in the decision. But that's our Budweiser Power Punch of the night. For the champ, Sean O'Grady, this is Al Albert. Tonight we end in controversy, but we'll see you next week on USA's Tuesday Night Fights.